This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1126, 6 Tips to Stop Mindless Shopping, by Jennifer of SimplyFiercely.com. And I'm Dan, I'm your host and narrator of some of the best blogs on personal finance. I'm here every single day reading to you from these great blogs. And if you have any topic requests for us, please share those by visiting oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com. Also, for more content being narrated to you for free and covering personal development, minimalism, and much more, check out Optimal Living Daily. We've got a bunch of episodes there that you can check out. And today's author is actually regularly featured on that show. Again, that's the podcast Optimal Living Daily. But since you're here, step right in and let's get right to today's post as we start optimizing your life. 6 Tips to Stop Mindless Shopping, by Jennifer of SimplyFiercely.com. Are you looking for tips on how to stop shopping? Do you struggle with buying things you don't really need? Don't worry, I've been there too. For most of my life, I had a problem with mindless shopping. I bought more than I could afford, I shopped emotionally or out of habit, and I bought things I didn't really want or need. To be blunt, I was a full-blown shopaholic, and I had the debt, stress, and overflowing closets to prove it. A lot has changed in the past few years, and I've since embraced a minimalist lifestyle. But this week, I've been thinking a lot about my old shopping-obsessed self. I'm writing this post from the north of Thailand, where most nights I find myself exploring one of the many fantastic night markets. If you've never been to one of these night markets, then trust me on this, the atmosphere is amazing. There are carts selling spicy noodles and fruit shakes, travelers from all over the world roaming the streets, and stalls selling everything from handicrafts to fake designer handbags, all at rock-bottom prices. A few years ago, it would have been very difficult for me to visit one of these markets without going a bit crazy. I couldn't walk by a stall of cheap t-shirts or handbags without adding a few to my collection. After all, who can resist a bargain? Well, definitely not me. At least not the old me. At that point in my life, it was a mindless, compulsive habit, and I didn't know how to stop shopping. This went on for years until, fortunately, I discovered minimalism, and everything began to change. Here are 6 practical tips that have helped me immensely on my mission to stop mindless shopping and instead start being intentional and considerate about my purchases. How to stop shopping. Know your values and priorities. Get started by knowing what you really want in life, and I mean the big picture stuff. What are your values, priorities, and dreams? I first asked myself this question a few years ago, and it was an eye-opener. After a bit of honest self-reflection, I realized one of the things that I value most is freedom. It's really important for me to have freedom to travel, freedom to quit a job that makes me unhappy, freedom to throw myself into passion projects or whatever opportunities may come my way. Shopping and owning too much stuff kept me broke and tied down, the exact opposite of what I wanted most out of life. Once I realized this, it became a lot easier to stop shopping. It became less about willpower and giving up shopping, and more about choosing the life I really want instead. Nowadays, I ask myself, what do I want most before making purchases, and it has made a world of difference. Train your eyes to look for quality. Let's be honest, a lot of what we buy is very ordinary. Poor quality t-shirts that lose their shape after one washing, icky fabrics that feel uncomfortable against your skin, and cheap designs that flatter no one. So why are we buying it? Very clever visual marketing. Stuff looks better when grouped together with other stuff. And shops know this. They create bright, colorful displays, play trendy music, and we're instantly distracted by the shiny stuff. Forever 21 and H&M are just a few great examples of this. Secondhand shops are full of these pieces. Clothes that look gorgeous in the shop, but you wear them once or twice and then never again because they don't really look or feel good. Look, I'll be honest. Sometimes I buy low-quality clothes, although I try to get them secondhand. Sometimes it's convenience or even necessity because it's not easy to find good things, but just be aware of it. Train your eyes to see quality and you'll automatically buy less. You'll walk into a shop, feel a few fabrics, then turn around and walk right out. Know your style. I've mentioned the value of truly knowing your style before, but it's worth repeating. When you're not confident in your style, you want to buy every beautiful piece that catches your eye, whether it suits you or not. However, once you fully know your style, you become a ruthless editor. It becomes easier to say no and walk away from pieces that don't work for you in your wardrobe. Knowing my style has taught me to say, "That's a beautiful dress, but it's not for me," and to then walk away. I used Pinterest to help define my style. I pin styles that appeal to me, but regularly go back and delete anything that doesn't fit the overall aesthetic. This leaves me with a visual inspiration board of my style, which I can use as a reference. Know your triggers. Why do you shop? If you're a problem shopper like I was, my guess is it's rarely because you need something. Instead, it might be things like boredom. I'll just kill some time. Low self-esteem. I look fat in everything I own. What I need is new jeans that make me look thin. Fashion magazines and blogs. Nothing I own is in style anymore. Or entitlement. The "I deserve it" mentality. I've personally experienced every one of these emotions or excuses for shopping. In particular, I was really bad with the "I deserve it" mentality. I worked long hours and I would always stop at the shops on my lunch break or on my way home. I worked hard, so I deserved something to cheer me up, right? Of course, in reflection, I could have bought less and worked less instead. I also had a weak spot for fashion blogs, which often led to expensive online purchases. When I decided to stop shopping so much, I gave up fashion blogs because I knew they triggered my buying habit. Whatever your triggers, learn to recognize them so you can take steps to counteract them. If you shop on your lunch break because you're bored, find a yoga class or start bringing a book. If you shop because you read fashion blogs, delete them from your favorites and start reading minimalism blogs instead. Have a support system. Find a supportive community. Like everything in life, it's easier when you have people on your team to celebrate your success and to keep you going when you slip up. Find friends or family that you can talk to about your goals, or if it's not something you feel comfortable talking about, try looking online. Plan to shop. We all shop because we all want and need things, myself definitely included. That's why this isn't a post about how to stop shopping, it's a post about stopping mindless shopping. And my last tip for being purposeful and intentional about shopping is to plan to shop. Most of the time, we know when we will want or need new things, the change of seasons, the holidays, special events. If you plan your shopping ahead of time, you have time to think about your purpose and what you really need. For example, I'm currently traveling around the world with carry-on luggage only. I know that I haven't packed enough warm clothes, so I've made plans to go shopping when I get to Europe. Because I've planned ahead, I have a good idea of what pieces I'll need to update my wardrobe, so I'll hopefully be able to avoid impulsive purchases. I'm not perfect, and I won't pretend I don't occasionally buy something just because, but I've definitely come a long way from my old shopping habits. You just listened to the post titled 6 Tips to Stop Mindless Shopping by Jennifer of SimplyFiercely.com. And that's going to do it for today and for another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Hope you are having a terrific Thursday. Thanks so much for being here with me every day. And I'll see you back here for the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.